Hare Krishna. Sorry for the delay in starting today. We will start with Mangalacharan prayers. I will share my screen and we can start. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay. So now we will go into today's discussion of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, which is Nectar of Devotion by His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Bhera Srila Prabhupada in English. Before that, let us recite the Shat Goswami Ashtakam, the first two verses, as a dedication to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So we can lead follow here on the Zoom also, if you would like. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Para Premamrita Nidhi.
Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito.
Dhira Priyakaro Nirmatsara Pujita.
Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bhavo Bharo Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarako.
Shri Chaitanya Kripa Bharo Vibhu Bharavahantaraka.
Ande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalako.
Vande
Rupa
Sanatana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samsthapako
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sadharma Samsthapaka
Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro
Lokanam
Lokanam
Hitakarinaum
Hitakarinam
Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau
Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko
Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Matarika
Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalako
Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now the memorization verses. 1-1-11. Anyabhilashita shunyam
Anya Vilashita Shunyam
Jnana karmadhyanavritam
Jnana Karmadhyanavritam
Anukulyena krishnanu
Anukulena Krishnanum
Shilanam bhaktiruttama
Shilanam Bhaktiruttamam
Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam
Sarvapadhi Vinirmuktam
Tatparatvena nirmalam
Tatparatvena Nirmalam
Ekena rishikesha
Hrishikena Hrishikesham
Evanam bhaktiruchyate
Sevanam Bhaktiruchyate
Atah Shri Krishna namadi
Atak Shri Krishna Namadi
Na bhaved grahyamindriyai
Na Bhavid Grahyam Indriyahi
Devonmukhe hi jivhado
Devan Mukhe Jihvada
Swayameva sfuratyadaha
Swayameva Suratyadaham
Anasaktasya vishayan
Anasaktasya Vishayan
Yatharham upayunjataha
Yadharham Upayunjataha
Nirbandha Krishna sambandhe
Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe
Yuktam vairagyamuchyate.
Yuktam Vairagyamuchyate.
Right, thank you. Okay. So, we will start today's class. Once again, I'm sorry for the delay. And yesterday, the internet got dropped towards the fag end of the class. So I am not sure where all it got cut off, but there was an internet problem. Today also, there were some internet issues as I was doing my work. So I don't know whether, so if it gets cut or something, I'll try to join from my cellular network. We'll see how it works. So, and please keep an eye on the WhatsApp. I will send a message on WhatsApp as to what's going on if it gets cut at my end. So, we were somewhere over here. So let's go over the last verse, 293 from yesterday. I updated some of the slides. After the discussion, I realized that I should maybe add a few more points. So I made some updates to the slides. Anyway, so let's see. So yesterday we were discussing the eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti. And one of the question that comes is that what if I don't have that kind of lobha, that greed? And Sri Rupa Goswami predicted that this question might come up. So he already provides an answer. And the simple answer is to continue performing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And that is, again, not mechanical, but very, very sincerely. And with a mood of absorption in Vaidhi Bhakti, as far as possible, trying to control our mind, absorb it in Krishna, think of Sri Krishna, use all the experiences and realizations we have had in our life, because even by Vaidhi Bhakti, Lord Krishna does reciprocate with us. So use all those experiences that we have had that have strengthened our faith in Bhakti to increase our absorption in Bhakti and pray to attain that lobha. So lobha primarily meaning the lobha for the bhava or for the mood of the Vrajvasis, to develop that mood that I want to be like them, or they are so sweet. When or why can't I be, at least get a fraction of their bhava or their love for Sri Krishna? So that is the lobha. And so we discussed several points. I will just show the whole slide here, but I added few points here. So I will go over some of the new points that I had added, which I thought of adding after yesterday's discussion. So the point I want to make today or start from is this one, that immersion in Srimad Bhagavatam is to be done at all stages of bhakti. First, the immersion in Srimad Bhagavatam helps us to develop the lobha, because Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the knowledge of the Vrajvasis. And when I'm saying Srimad Bhagavatam here, primarily it means the 10th canto. So from there we get the understanding of the sweetness of the mood of the Vrajvasis, how sweet their mood is. And then when that lobha appears, then what to do next? That also comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam. How to thicken or how to mature that desire to develop that kind of a mood. And finally, simply when even if there is prema bhakti has arisen in one's heart, Srimad Bhagavatam gives so much pleasure in simply hearing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the Supreme Lord, used to relish hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. That was his main sewa for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is to simply sing Srimad Bhagavatam. He was the universe's or world's best reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to relish that. The Supreme Lord used to relish Srimad Bhagavatam, what to speak of us. Okay. I think we discussed this next point, is that while on the Raganuga path, one follows the injunctions of the scripture that are aligned or suitable with the mood that he is aspiring for. So one may omit some, and we will talk about this today more, but this should be done very, very carefully under the guidance of a guru. This kind of a guru is known as a bhajan or a mahant guru. Ideally, it is the Diksha Guru. If not, it could be a Shiksha Guru as well. But that Shiksha Guru should be one whose mood is aligned with the Diksha Guru. And before we start getting instructions from such a guru for our primary bhajan. Bhajan means progress in spiritual life. Especially on this path, one should definitely seek permission from the Diksha Guru. So these are some of the points that I wanted to make from yesterday. And then we discussed this other example, simply that if one has heard about the sweetness of gulab jamun from someone, then one develops a greed to eat it. So that is the lobha or the greed. But that development of greed is not equal to. So this is a point where I was also confused in the past for a long time. So this example helps to understand this point that, hey, I have the greed, which means I have the bhava. No. I mean, developing that greed for developing the bhava of a Vrajvasi is very rare. But somehow, at least in my mind, and and it may be possible that one collapses the two. I have the greed, so, that's it. It's so rare, now I'm done. That's not true. So one developing the greed for the bhava and developing the bhava, that is that whole process of Raganuga Bhakti. The entry is to develop the greed. The exit point is to develop the bhava. Because once the bhava has developed, what comes after Raganuga Bhakti? Bhava Bhakti, which is the next chapter which we will study. So the exit point of Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti, Raganuga is within Sadhan Bhakti. So that is sadhan means our practice. So one practices to go from this stage of developing of lobha till the stage of developing bhava. And that's what we will go through today. That is the process of finding out where can I get gulab jamuns? What are the directions to the store? Or how to make it? What's the recipe? What do I need to buy? Finally, when you have made it, then you can eat it. So just having the desire to eat and feeling the taste of it, you have to go through a process. It's not like the moment you have the greed to eat it, you have begun to enjoy it. So that's the difference between these two. Okay, so now we start today's topic. So main topic of today. So today's class, I plan to complete Raganuga Bhakti section. Next week, a lot of devotees are going to Sadhu Sangha or Gita Nagari and so on. So I want to finish the Raganuga Bhakti section today. So it might be a longer class. So please stay tuned. Or if you cannot, that's fine. Please watch the recording. So the core process of Raganuga Bhakti is described in these three verses, 294 to 296. So before we go into these verses, I want to lay out, or I want to explain certain points, some baseline points. So please pay very careful attention. It's a very important class on Raganuga Bhakti today. So one point, or the first thing, is that there's an external aspect, okay, to the execution, the process, execution of the process. There's an external aspect, and that external aspect involves our activities of bhakti, devotional activities, which are no different from the 64 limbs that we have studied, or Navadha Bhakti, or whatever you want to call it, the 5 most important limbs, or Shravana, Kirtan, your chanting and reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, etc., following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. They are the experts in Raganuga Bhakti already. They are our acharyas, the Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas I'm talking about. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, the whole Guru Parampara, every one of them. So following in their footsteps, that is our external, that's the external part of the process. Okay, so that process is being followed in what is known as the Sadhak deha. Like Sri Rupa Goswami, he's a devotee. He is a sadhak. we all know he is, coming directly from the spiritual world, but he will never claim that he is, a spiritual being and so on and so forth. So he is a sadhaka, and he will follow the same process as he instructs us to follow. So that is known as the sadhaka deha, and we follow the devotional processes exactly as we have studied in Vaidhi Bhakti. Then there is the internal process, and that process is our smarana, or our absorption or meditation in the desired mood similar to the selected Vrajvasi. So after hearing, so this is continuing from yesterday, after hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam and so on, one develops the lobha. I want to have this particular Vrajvasi's mood, whether it is, if it is in Vatsalya, it could be Nanda Maharaj or Mother Yashoda. If it is in Sakhya, it could be Subala, Madhumangala, etc. If it is in Madhurya, it could be Srimati Radharani or one of the gopis, etc. And we'll discuss some finer aspects today. But in their mood, we want to develop. And internally, we just focus, or we meditate on their relationship with Krishna. We'll go into the details of it, but there is this internal aspect. So this is known as the Siddha deha. So even when you are in your sadhak deha, one sort of imagines, again, this is at a very advanced stage, but one imagines that one is doing certain activities in his mind, the Manasi sewa, which we called. So Manasi sewa was one of the aspects that we had already studied. So in their mind, one is doing service to Sri Krishna in the Leela of Sri Krishna, in Krishna Leela. So one is meditating, or one is trying to first learn, what does this person do? So you cannot go directly to the spiritual world and have a look, but in your absorption, in your meditation, you're trying to first learn, and then you serve Sri Krishna or their devotees in Krishna Leela. So all this is done mentally, but there should be, no show of it. We'll come to that. So the ambition, this sentence is taken directly from Nectar of Devotion. The ambition is to become like a particular Ragatmika devotee. And this ambition develops gradually. Okay. First, it may become, let's say, clear. Okay, let's say, I want to have a Madhurya relation or a Kamanuga relationship. Then it may become clear which gopi or what. The details will become clear. So it's a very gradual process. It may not happen like everything may not just, appear in a flashlight on one fine day. So it's a gradual process. Now, this internal and external are two distinct aspects, and one should not conflate the two. One should not mix the two. The internal mood or the internal absorption that one has, or even that identification, or even that beginning of the identification that one may begin to have, should never be artificially manufactured. It shouldn't be forced. Oh, I want to. Who do I want to be? Oh, okay. This sounds good. This sides. That's like a process of elimination, or when you look for a job. Oh, this job is giving me this much money. This one is giving me this much money. I have this career growth. I have this. It's not supposed to be done like a, analysis in a spreadsheet. If that's what you are going towards, it's a clear indication that you're not ready for it. So it happens, one should not artificially or through any material means force it, and definitely not treat it cheaply or in a material way. Okay. Even while selecting some people, a husband or a wife, they build a spreadsheet. Oh, this person, whatever, this much education or qualification, or will this person, move with me? If I move to a different city, will they move? So many parents, are their parents aligned, or is this girl too much attached to the parents? She'll always be running to her parents' house, or will she stay with me? All these considerations are there, So one should not do like that. So let it be a natural outcome of one's immersion in Srimad Bhagavatam or in association of devotees. So no external demonstrations or show off. This whole internal meditation should remain completely internal. Externally, you should look just like a Vaidhi Bhakta. Okay? And nobody should declare, oh, I am doing Raganuga Bhakti or anything like that. So externally, and it's nobody's business to ask. Okay? If somebody asks, you should politely, deal with it. So it's purely an internal process. And Srila Prabhupada stresses this enough. I mean, he cannot stress it enough. Like he has written over and over again that anartha nivritti is extremely important. Otherwise, it's very easy to conflate. Maybe there is desire for sense gratification. Oh, Raganuga Bhakti. Oh my God. Let me hint to this person, I'm doing Raganuga Bhakti. Then the word will spread. Then everybody will know. Not even that, so anartha nivritti is very important. There should be absolutely no desire for any sense gratification. Or as we have heard, oh, there may not be a need to follow all the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. Oh, now I don't have to do, I'm doing Raganuga Bhakti. All boxes are checked. I don't need to check any more boxes. So all that, so therefore, this should be a very, very natural process, and it should come out of one's very deep immersion in Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, they are two parallel tracks, but Raganuga Bhakti arises, again, ultimate cause we will see today, but I will tell you the ultimate cause of this arising of that lobha is simply the mercy of Sri Krishna. Okay, so even on a complete rascal, Sri Krishna can choose to shower his mercy because it is unconditional. But by our sincere practice of Vaidhi Bhakti, we have a hope that Sri Krishna will give that mercy and we will get that lobha. Now, it may not happen in this life. For some, it may have happened in previous lives. So this very sincere performance or execution of Vaidhi Bhakti is the best way, if one does not have that lobha, is the best way to develop it. And a big part of that Vaidhi Bhakti is anartha nivritti. So one should really, really, really focus on cleansing the heart. Otherwise, there is every chance that it can be a false alarm. And then you might start on that path and it will be counterproductive. So we will discuss, the next point is this Siddha Pranali or Prakrit Sahajiyas, some external kind of, oh, I am aspiring, or I feel like I'm a gopi. So even a man would wear gopi dress externally. I am to display that I am gopi. So external display should be literally zero. Should be literally zero. Do you ever see Srila Prabhupada wearing gopi dress? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rupa Goswami? No, never. So external and internal are two very, very separate aspects. One should keep them separate. Externally, one should be a completely like a Vaidhi Bhakta. All of the Raganuga Bhakti is in one's meditation or one's smarana. Those who do external show and, whatever, once somebody dresses as Krishna, somebody dresses as Gopi, and then they, go and kiss each other, and all that is just nonsense. So that is these Prakrita Sahajiyas and other, so many things. That's just nothing but sense gratification, or those who have not performed anartha nivritti at all. Then there used to be a process called Siddha Pranali, where that is not followed, at least in the line of our recent acharyas. It has been abandoned, at least from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur onwards. This means just a small that the Guru is now, for that the Guru has to be completely self-realized. He is able to see the future or the spiritual body, the Siddha deha of the Sadhak. He is able to see, and he tells the Sadhak who you are, what is your spiritual identity. So he gives a head start. And the sadhaka then, oh, okay. And he can also see that, yes, this is the direction I was going. This is because the guru knows the past, present, future of a disciple. So he can tell and give a head start or give a boost or encouragement to the sadhak. Now, this process has then degenerated. And somebody can say, oh, you know what? You are this gopi, you should wear blue dress. Or you are that other gopi, you should wear green dress. And you should wear those kind of bangles and this kind of earrings and this and that. And then their whole focus becomes on going to the market and buying green dresses and buying blue dresses. If it is done at a immature level. So this whole process is not necessary. In the purest form, it is very nice. But it's very hard to find it. So don't worry. Let it come naturally from within. Okay. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, in the Nectar of Devotion, he mentions Siddha Pranali and he says that is off the table. Okay. So I just wanted to mention all this because it's part of the understanding of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in our sampradaya. Okay. All right. So now we are ready to go into the 3 verses, the core verses, which forms the major part of today's discussion. So the first verse, which is 294, 295, 296. Those are the 3 verses. Okay. Before that, I thought somebody had raised their hand. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can shorten your questions, Prabhu. It's at runtime, it's a little hard to kind of You said the main thing is to develop the mood of a certain Vraj devotee. What if we mainly want a close relationship with Krishna in certain flavors and are not yet in close following of one specific Vraj devotee yet? Yeah, that's fine. That's the gradual process I was talking about. So there is that desire to be close to Krishna, but you don't know in which mood, as a parent, as a friend, as a conjugal lover, as it is called, or in an amorous relationship. If that is not known, then it will develop. But these are the 4 primary rasas: madhurya, vatsalya, sakhya, and dasya. So is that called something? It has ultimately, it will become clear after deeper sadhana and the mercy of devotees and absorption in Srimad Bhagavatam. It will become clear. So that's just the process. That intermediate thing, is that called something? I don't know if there's a name, or what are you asking? Or that just means we are lost? No, you're not lost. You're on the path, I would say. Again, I don't know much about you personally, but yeah. Does the Raganuga mean one has no affinity for opulence aspect? So, no affinity for opulence aspect. So that Aishwarya Jnana Pradhanata. Okay. So yes, you are right. He has no affinity for the opulence aspect. That is correct. There is awareness of the opulence aspect. There is awareness. Or there is awareness of we can say, the powers. But something or the other overcomes it or overpowers that power or covers that. That's called as the Yogamaya Shakti. Just like so many, Vrajvasis used to wonder how this little boy is able to kill all these big demons. Then they would come up with some reason. Oh, it cannot be him. It's some godly power within him that came in at the right time. It could have come in anyone. It just that power came into him at the right time so that he killed the demon, but he himself is powerless. They will come up with some explanation to dismiss the opulence of Krishna. So they have no affinity for it. They have no affinity to even dive into it. Let me investigate. Is he really God? They will not undergo a deep research on it. They are already convinced. They have a what you call a what bias? A confirmation bias that he is not God. So even if he shows godly powers, they have that strong confirmation. Everything they will look for to tell themselves, no, he cannot be God. Okay. Or even if they say he is God, so what if he is God? I don't care. Let him be God. He may be God in his own Vaikuntha. I don't really care if he's God. Okay. So that would be the understanding. We are in this material world. Is it at all possible to find human Krishna or anything like that in this world? Or there is no hope beyond name and Paramatma? There's no human Krishna in this world. Nama is, yeah. So these are deeper questions. We can take it offline. Okay. I'm thinking of a suitable answer. Yeah, I'll take that offline. What if one wants Krishna as a friend? Yeah, so that is Sakhya, could be the bhava of developing the mood of a friend of Krishna. That is possible. And treats his deity as his daily friend. Yeah, and involves him in everything like a close person or a close friend. Yes, in Vaidhi Bhakti also, if you remember, there was Sakhya was one of the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, but there in the commentary, Shri Jiv Goswami said it is it's extremely rare, so it is almost as good as not a limb of Vaidhi Bhakti. All right. But there, if you see, the example was given, one is sleeping in the altar room. Now, can you imagine? One of the other limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti was to never sleep in front of the deity or even lie down, except for giving Dandavat Pranam. What to speak of sleeping? But in Sakhya, that was the example that was given, that sometimes a devotee might sleep with the deity to make sure, like, he has company, like a sleepover. Isn't it? When you have sleepover, you don't sleep in different rooms. What's the point? Then you can as well sleep in your own home. You want to sleep in the same room and keep talking and till your eyelids drop like lead. So yes, that is Sakhya Bhava. So that is possible. Okay. What is the difference between lobha and inquisitiveness or eagerness? Okay. English wise, lobha is greed. So there is greed versus inquisitiveness. Inquisitiveness could be that, again, it's just English. I mean, I think it's fairly clear. Once you have the information, inquisitiveness could go away. Greed means, now you can say there could be greed for the information, but here it's not just the lobha as a singular word. Lobha for something. That is the lobha we are talking about. So it is the lobha to develop the mood similar to the Vrajavasi. That is the specific meaning of lobha we are taking. So what do you mean when you are asking the question, what is the difference between, so if I were to replace lobha with inquisitiveness, are you just saying what inquisitiveness to develop the mood? That doesn't make sense. Then the other point could be, oh, I'm just inquisitive about their mood. Okay, then inquisitiveness can be satisfied by information. And once you have the information, you may or may not have greed. For example, maybe just like a devotee who is in the mood of who wants to develop the mood of a friend. He has information about Madhurya, but he has no lobha for that. He has instead lobha for being a Sakhya. So he has information, but he has no lobha. Or somebody could be a pure materialist and have all the information, like a professor in some big university. They have read Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ fully. So they have satisfied their inquisitiveness, but they have no lobha. So all those are possible. Okay, so there's another question. If we have an inclination towards a Vrajavasi that we want to follow, do we have to know him or her very well? What do you think? Of course, yes. Of course. Very, very well. Very, very well. As much as possible. Then you will keep looking for like a almost an example is like a spy. A spy is sent on a mission to find out about one person in another country. So he does so much work to take pictures. So where is he going? He'll click a picture. You might have seen in some spy movies. He's just like crazy about that one person, when he gets up, when he sleeps, where he goes, which restaurant he eats, which bus he takes, which route he takes, whatever. Let's say if he's planning to whatever kill him, doesn't he know every, in spy movies I have heard some line, I know you better than you know yourself. Right? That's the mood. Or the symptoms manifest on its own. Symptoms, what symptoms? I don't understand. No, but you have to know their bhava, and that is the bhava, and it may not be that exact bhava, but similar. Okay, so similar, that word similar is very important. If so, how do we know the selection that we have made is in alignment with our mood? Yeah, so these, or caliber, or we will on a right path. So you will feel that attraction. Okay, you just need to, all I can say is just immerse yourself more and something will click. I think these questions are more in the line of, okay, and asking for a mechanical answer. What will happen, when I, do this in the chemistry lab, blue will turn into green. What will happen? It's not mechanical. So I hope I have answered little bit. Okay. So we'll go on. Okay, so today is going to be a really long class. So please, I think I just want to finish it today. I could break it up into two, but I just want to do a marathon session and finish. Okay. If anybody has a very, very strong reason why we should not do that, then let me know. I'll keep going. So this is the first verse in the series of 3 verses. Krishnam smaran janam chasya preshtham nija samihitam tat katharatas chaso kuryad vasam vraje sada. So what it means, Krishnam smaran janam chasya preshtham nija samihitam. So again, this is the process of perfecting of Raganuga Bhakti. This is not how Lobha has appeared. So the precondition, there are some preconditions here. Okay. So this is not an answer to the kind of questions that were asked by devotees just a while back. Okay. The precondition here is that one has read or heard Krishna Katha in detail already. And the appearance of Lobha has already occurred to develop the bhava similar to a specific Vrajvasi or a Ragatmika Bhakta. Or may not be specific to a specific Ragatmika Bhakta, but a category of Ragatmika Bhaktas. Let's say like a parent or like a gopi or somebody like that. How much they say, like somebody was saying yesterday, how much, or even, yeah. So, some clarity needs to be there. And the lobha or the greed needs to be there to develop that kind of a mood. So this is once that has been done, then what is being said, what Sri Rupa Goswami is saying, that one should focus on smaran. So this is the smaran aspect, that one should smaran Krishnam smaran janam chasya. So one should do smaran of Krishna and that devotee and the relationship between them, whatever are the pastimes. Preshtham nija samihitam. And nija samihitam means that one which is similar to the feelings or the mood or the bhava that one has become attracted to. One has developed lobha for. And then what should one do? One now needs to thicken that. One needs to make it more mature, or more, like we said, know more about it, know more about it, know more about it, like an infatuation, So, tat katha ratascha. So you have to develop absorption, katha rati. So, absorbing into the katha of those of Krishna and his interactions with that devotee in their pastimes. Now, this was the internal part. And the external is kuryad vasam vraje sada. And always reside in Vraja. Okay. So that is the external part. The fourth line is external. The remaining are internal. So after these preconditions have been satisfied, then what this verse, now these are some of my bullets, my notes, or my sort of key points that I want to highlight. That this is that one needs to then deepen. This verse is about the process of Raganuga Bhakti, of how to deepen it now. Not about how to appear the lobha or the appearance of the lobha. That has already occurred. Now it's all about going deeper. And the purpose is to reach the stage of Bhava Bhakti. Remember, what is Sadhan Bhakti? Raganuga is Sadhan Bhakti. Sadhan Bhakti is two items. Or what is the definition of Sadhan Bhakti? That which is executed by the senses, mind is also a sense, and which results in Bhava Bhakti. So the goal is to do something with our senses and continue to make forward progress towards Bhava Bhakti. So that the goal is to reach Bhava Bhakti, which means to mature our Sadhana Bhakti through our senses. One of the things is to reside in Vraja, and in the mind do meditation or absorption in the pastimes of that devotee and Krishna. Okay. And perform smarana of Krishna and his interactions with that Ragatmika Bhakta. And one should deepen, you should deepen your smarana by absorbing further into the pastimes aligned with your mood and the mood of the Ragatmika Bhakta of your choice. So, specific pastimes between those. And of course, the foundation is determined anartha nivritti, otherwise it could just become a pretense. So again, I wanted to make sure to highlight this point, because anartha nivritti is again done by the senses. And big part of it is mind. The pratishtha asha and putinati, all those anarthas are in the mind, and there are several anarthas that can be done with our physical senses as well. And here is an important point. Kuryad vasam vraje sada. So are we all residing in Vraja right now? No. So the last line is saying, live your life like this, residing in the region of Vraja. Now Shri Jiva Goswami himself predicted that not everybody will be able to live in Vraja. Now he didn't know America at that time maybe, or it wasn't even found. But there were a lot of other nice devotees in other parts of India. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, for example, comes from South India. And there are so many other devotees. He himself, or the Goswamis themselves, were from Bengal. And there are so many sweet devotees in Bengal who, never came to or cannot reside in Vraja, Sada. Kuryad Vasam Vraje Sada. What about them? So first of all, one of the injunctions is one should never consider Navadvip different from Vraja. Okay, then what about South India, this, that, so many other places. Ramananda Raya was neither in Navadvip nor in Vraja. He was in somewhere in Andhra Pradesh or somewhere there. So he says, if not possible physically, then at least mentally. Mentally is most important. And physical also means nothing if mentally you are in Las Vegas. What's the point of residing in Vraja and always meditating on, oh, when will I go to New Delhi to buy the latest, watch the latest movies, or, do so many other things which you cannot do in Vrindavan, then you are not residing in Vrindavan at all. So mentally is most important. So either it has to be physically and mentally, or just mentally. Only physical with no mental is completely useless. All right. Best is physically plus mentally. If not, then mentally. Otherwise, no use. Okay. Any questions on this? So much of the discussion we already had in that foundational part, the first previous verse. So this one we will go a little faster. So now 295, the next verse, and this is sort of the centerpiece. Of the three verses, this one is the centerpiece. So we'll go through this. So what is the verse? Oh, it is the font or the alignment is not correct. It's okay. Sewa sadhaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi tadbhava lipsuna karya vrajalokanusārratah. So what it says, seva sadhaka rupena siddha rupena cha atra hi. So seva is to be done. Seva is a key component. Okay. So one does seva in the sadhaka rupa, and cha atrahi. Cha means and therefore seva is not repeated again. Siddha rupena cha atra. So, and one does seva in the siddha deha as well. So we had discussed sadhak deha and siddha deha. That needs to be very clear. Sadhak deha is our material body, our present body, which other people can see. Siddha deha is our desired body, our desired spiritual body for which we are developing a aspiration for. That is Siddha Deha. And in the mind, like for example, everybody imagines in their mind, what if I was Shah Rukh Khan? What if I was Bill Gates? So they are imagining a Siddha Deha. Whatever. If I had so many billions of dollars, I would buy a whatever, I would big house, whatever. I can't even imagine what I would buy with that so much money. My imagination itself is limited to small things. I'll buy a nice car. Maybe they don't think like that. They will think I will buy a whole car company. So anyway, so that is Siddha Deha. So, and do seva in the Siddha Deha, which means the Manasi seva. In the pastimes of Sri Krishna, you are serving them. You are serving Sri Krishna in his pastimes. So you need to know what the pastimes are, what kind of seva your Ragatmika Bhakta, your ideal, he's your role model. Ragatmika Bhakta is like your role model. What seva he is doing, he or she. If you don't know that, what are it? Then it's all pretense. Then it's all pretense. It has to come from there. It cannot be made up. Somebody said it, asked it is it suggest something like coming from within? No, you are not Vyasdev. You are not writing it. Okay, or you're not Jiva Goswami who's writing Gopal Champu. All these things are coming, the Shastras are coming from their Samadhi. They go into their Samadhi, they see and they write. In the 5th chapter of 1st canto, that's exactly what Vyasdev, it is written there. 1.5.13 or 1.5.18, one of those says, Narad Muni tells Vyasdev, now go into Samadhi and write down all the beautiful pastimes, and that became Srimad Bhagavatam. That's when Vyasdev was feeling depressed after composing all the other Vedas and Puranas. So Narad Muni told him, go into Samadhi and then write. Similarly, all our Goswamis, whatever literatures they have written, like Gopal Champu or Vidagdha Madhava or Lalit Madhava, all these things are coming from their Samadhi. So we have to know those. That is known as Leela Smaran. So we have to know those leelas to be able to mentally prepare ourselves to participate in those leelas. So, assuming that has been done, that is the precondition, only then lobha will appear. Otherwise, what's the point of having this discussion? Then you are in the wrong class. Then, tad bhava lipsuna karya. So, lipsu, again, it means, lipsa means desire. Lipsu means one who has the desire. Like jigyasa means inquisitiveness. Jigyasu means one who is inquisitive. So lipsa means desire. Lipsu means one who has that desire. So that's how it works. Jigyasa, jigyasu, lipsa, lipsu. So it is the personification or one who has it. So in this way, that person being desirous of tad bhava, of that bhava, of the selected or their, role model Vrajvasi, Ragatmika Bhakta, Vrajaloka Anusarataha. One does sewa in the mood of that Vrajvasi. Okay. So one does the sewa Vrajaloka Anusarataha, which means following in the footsteps, following in the mood, not imitation. So again, the word anusarana or anusarataha is there. It's not anukarana. It is anusarana. Okay. So the main point in this verse is that there are two aspects. One is Sadhaka Roop Seva and one is Siddha Roop Seva. That is to be done. Okay. And then in the commentary, there is a lot of stuff that we will see. So all these bullets are from the commentaries. So first of all, there are these preconditions. First of all, one has to be well versed in what needs to be done as part of Sadhak Deha. And that is no different from Vaidhi Bhakti. So, and all our previous acharyas have shown it by their own example. If you see Sri Rupa Goswami or any other Srila Prabhupada, etc., you will not be able to make out that they are Raganuga Bhaktas or Vaidhi Bhaktas. They are just doing the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. And also one has to be well versed in Krishna Leela, including all the finer details to be able to mentally participate in them. Great acharyas do this Leela Smaran for hours. So it is not just, oh, Krishna is playing flute and, the gopis are sitting and listening. How can you meditate on that for 5 hours? Then it goes into the details, which tunes, how are they sitting, in which pose, where exactly, where in Vrindavan, today here, tomorrow there, who else is sitting, who else is listening. So many things. I am in no way any expert in this, but I'm just saying that there are so many, there's an importance to the finer details. It's not just some, broad strokes on a canvas. Okay, it's a very refined understanding of the Leela. And one has to already have developed a liking for that particular kind of sewa. So sewa is there across all. Even Srimati Radharani is doing sewa of Krishna. Why? How is she doing sewa? Even if she is angry with Krishna, now can you call it sewa? And being angry on someone is not sewa in our normal understanding. It is demand of sewa, right? You didn't serve me properly, so I'm angry at you. How is that sewa? Because she knows that at that moment, Krishna will be happy if I am angry with him. She knows the mind of Krishna. So you can say she fakes, or she not fakes. She genuinely becomes angry, but the goal is to serve Krishna. That is the seva. And of course, she does so much direct seva, cooking for Krishna and, doing so many things for Krishna, which is more obvious. Even to the extent that her becoming angry with Krishna is also seva. There is nothing in Srimati Radharani's existence that is not seva of Krishna. What to speak of Mother Yashoda, who is also doing sewa, and then, the friends and dasya is obviously sewa. So everything is sewa. And one has identified with that mood of that Vrajvasi and wants to develop that mood. So all these are the preconditions. Then externally in sadhak deha, one is following the limbs of bhakti that are aligned with the desired mood. Okay. So that is aligned with the desired mood of serving Sri Krishna. So just as a simple example, if one is in dasya bhava of raktak and patrak, let's say, so they will be always going and doing nama sankirtan, but they may not cook for Sri Krishna. At least I have not read Leela so much but if they are not cooking, but Mother Yashoda or Srimati Radharani, cooking is a big part of it. So just as an example, services that are or sewa that is aligned with their mood. Again, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. So that is Shravana, Kirtana, etc. continues. Like Mother Yashoda, even while churning butter, she was singing the pastimes of Krishna. That's right there in the 9th chapter of 10th canto, first verse. Her bangles were making the music and she was singing, and it was like a big kirtan going on while she was churning butter. Then Smaran is next. Internally, what one does is that in their Siddha deha, in this sort of their imagined spiritual form, they perform sewa to Sri Krishna as per the Krishna Leela in the Shastra, not again self-manufactured. Okay, then there can be a lot of problems if you self-manufacture. Or, and this is going to come up very soon, or perform seva either to Krishna or to his devotees to help them in their seva. So become servant of the servant. So all these things that we hear, servant of servant and everything, it's all connected. So to either directly have that desire to serve Krishna or to serve those who are serving Krishna, again as per Shastras. So it is very, obviously one may not have that whole understanding and guidance and everything in the beginning. Therefore, guidance is very important, and therefore a bhajan guru is extremely important to learn how to be able to do this Manasi seva properly without getting into all the, problems of pretense or, some kind of desire of fame or even unwanted attention. You may not have the desire, but a lot of attention is coming and you begin to relish it, even though you don't actively do anything to get more of it. But simply that relishment mentality, if it comes, one should run away from there. Okay. Some more notes. So same verse, more notes. So one should, again, these points are very important. So some of these are repeated, but I'm making them. One should be very careful not to, one should keep the Manasi and Sadhak Deha Seva as completely separate. By looking at you, one should not know. This should be like a litmus test. One should not be able to make out what Manasi Seva you are doing. You should keep it completely within. It should not come out. One extreme example on the far end of the spectrum is wearing gopi dress and dancing and this and that and all that stuff. That all is completely a big disturbance, not only for the devotee, but for everybody else who is, trying to become a devotee. For example, our acharyas mentioned, and also one should not stop doing things. You should not do the things that they are doing, but you should not stop doing things which they were not doing. Like the gopis were never worshipping Tulsi. There is no example or no like writing in the Shastras, or nowhere it is said they took shelter of a guru. They got diksha or anything like that, or they observed Ekadashi or anything like that. In fact, they observed Shivratri, not Ekadashi. They worshipped Mother Durga, Katyayani. They would do Surya, worship the sun god. But we are not supposed to do that. So externally, we are supposed to follow the path laid down by our acharyas, not from the Vrajvasis. That's only meant for our internal meditation. So we should definitely continue our Ekadashi. That's such an important thing. Today's Ekadashi. Tulsi, simple examples which the gopis never did. It should not. So those Prakrit Sahajiyas, they don't do Ekadashi. So, oh, gopis didn't do it. We don't do it. And they went around in singing. So we'll go around singing after wearing gopi dress. We'll sing. So complete imitation. So I'm just trying to say that's so wrong. All our previous acharyas worshipped Tulsi, worshipped or did Ekadashi. So externally, we should follow our acharyas. In the mind, we should participate or become mature in doing Manasi sewa in the Krishna Leela. So externally, we should not imitate the Vrajvasis at all. Okay. And in a sense, you are even internally, following the footsteps of the acharyas, because internally they are also meditating on their desired Vrajvasis. So, and some part of their internal mood is visible through their writings and their bhajans and so on. So we can get a sense of their internal mood. For example, Sri Rupa Goswami was Sri Rupa Manjari. So it is true that both our external seva and our internal mood should be aligned with our acharyas. Now, this was a question yesterday when the internet got cut, was asked by Damodar Krishna Prabhu. So there needs to be that internal role model. And it's best if it is aligned with our Guru Parampara or our Diksha Guru or some Guru in our line. But saying that our Guru, that was the question yesterday, that our Acharya, in the Siddha deha, want to have the bhava of the Acharya. That is what I was saying is only a intermediate level. Then one has not fully developed the mood of a Vrajvasi. Because they also, if one says, I want to develop the mood of Sri Rupa Goswami, that's very nice, very nice. Better than developing mood of Bill Gates or whatever, some materialist. So yes, that is there. But what is Rupa Goswami aspiring to develop the mood of? Sri Rupa Manjari. He is Rupa Manjari. We know that. So basically, his internal mood is none other than Rupa Manjari. So you're basically in Sadhak Deha, you're doing seva of Sri Rupa Goswami. In Siddha Deha, you are serving Rupa Manjari. Okay. So there is no difference in that sense. But saying that in the Siddha Deha, there is no Rupa Goswami in Siddha Deha or in the spiritual world. There is, but he's as Rupa Manjari. So as in the Siddha Deha, it has to be one of the Vrajvasis. Just two more points here, that it is not mandatory that it is best, but it is not mandatory that the bhajan guru have the same mood as one's desired mood. An expert bhajan guru can guide a sadhak having a different desired mood as well. Okay, it's already so hard to find a guru. But again, by praying sincerely to Krishna, he will definitely match the perfect guru to you. He is the best matchmaker. So don't worry. What if this? What if that? Don't get into the what ifs. Krishna will make everything happen in the most perfect way. Okay. Third verse, the last verse among the three, not the last verse for today, but the last among the three. And Sri Rupa Goswami predicted that some people will have this doubt. So he's already saying this. Shravanot kirtanadini vaidhi bhakta uditani tu yanyangani cha tanyatra vigyeyani manishibhihi. So what is the meaning? Shravanot kirtana adini vaidhi bhaktya uditani tu. So these activities or these of limbs of bhakti, Shravana, Kirtana, Adi, etc., for example, 5 most important limbs, and then the 3 most, or again, that was a question which 5 most important and powerful limbs. So the first 3 are the most important, the last 5 are the most powerful. Important is Guru Pada Ashraya, Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, Vishrambhena Gurur Seva. So, all those limbs of bhakti, these angas, yan angani cha tanya atra. So, those angas of Vaidhi Bhakti, which is in the second line, Uditani, which are coming from the instructions of Vaidhi Bhakti, are applied here also. That's exactly what the third line is saying. Those angas should be understood to be applicable to that tani yani. That those limbs should be applicable or should be considered to be equally applicable here. There is a slight difference. Vigyayani manishibhi. Manishibhi means one is you can say a wise person, but here it means the person with that deep understanding or discrimination. So basically, what it means is that you need to have that understanding that what limbs are favorable or aligned with my mood and ones which are not. So do those ones. The answer cannot be 0. That's another pitfall. Oh, I am on Raganuga Bhakti path. I don't have to do anything. I'll just wear a green gopi dress and just, do some, stage dance. That's kind of the most perverted way to say it. So some of the limbs absolutely need to be performed. And it's not out of force, but one would automatically perform them out of their developing their or having developed or in the process of developing the mood. So they are all covered within the 64 limbs. Like Mother Yashoda, she would cook for Krishna, and that is one of the limbs, cooking for Krishna. So many limbs, are there. Singing for Krishna. The gopis would sing for Krishna. Or hearing of Kirtan, the gopis would hear the flute. So all the limbs are there. So this is a very important cautionary verse. Even Sri Rupa Goswami predicted that people will misunderstand and misuse Raganuga Bhakti and convert it into a disturbance among the Vaishnava society. So he said this very important verse, and the point is that all the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti are applicable to Raganuga Bhakti in general. All of them. You can find some Raganuga Bhakta who's following some limb, one of the limbs of Vaidhi, at least one of the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. So in the external sewa, a sadhak deha sewa, as a sadhak, one must follow these limbs, but only those that are aligned or favorable for his desired mood of seva. And he may omit those angas, that are those limbs that are not aligned for his mood of seva. Okay. So For example, in all the rasas or all the bhavas, madhurya bhav, sakhya bhav, vatsalya bhav, dasya bhav. For example, Guru Pad Ashraya is essential, because to perform Raganuga Bhakti, you definitely need a guidance of a Guru. So without doing Guru Pad Ashraya, if you have neglected that, all of Raganuga Bhakti is neglected. All of it is neglected. You cannot do Raganuga Bhakti without the guidance of a proper Guru. So this is essential, for example. And then Sri Jiva Goswami in his commentary mentions some evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam that on this path, if you omit, one should not think, oh, I'm officially being given the privilege to omit some of the limbs. Then I'm committing a fault or a dosh. So he is saying that there is no fault in omitting some of the limbs if you are on this path that are not aligned or favorable with your mood or your desired mood. Okay. One thing is to be avoided though. Worship of Krishna in the mood of awe and reverence. That is not favorable to Raganuga Bhakti. Okay. Aishwarya Jnana Pradhanata. That should not be the predominant factor. Okay. So that is the discussion on the process of Raganuga Bhakti, the 3 verses. So quickly to summarize the 3 verses, what is the summary? The first verse says that one should remember the pastimes of Krishna and the devotee whose desired bhava you have the greed to develop. So remember those pastimes, absorb, not remember like just remember, but it means absorption or meditation. One should do remembrance of those pastimes and reside in Vraja. Okay. So that is one. The second one said that, and if you cannot reside in Vraja, then mentally reside in Vraja. Then the second one was talking about the distinction between Sadhak deha and Siddha deha. So Siddha deha was mentioned a little bit in the first one, but one of the points in this verse that is being made is that one must perform the Sadhak deha, sewa. One must not give that up. It will naturally come, but one must continue that sewa. And Leela Smaran is very important. One should do Leela Smaran as Siddha deha. But the Sadhak deha seva should be never given up. So your chanting, your whatever, if one is doing go seva or book distribution or temple deity worship, all those things should continue. But there should be dedicated Leela Smaran. So one can divide the time. And of course, one cannot have like a 16-hour job. That's why it is written to go live in Vraja means basically a retired life or a life where you can have something to do your living, but not like, not a 16-hour job. And do anusarana, follow in the footsteps of those devotees. And the third verse is saying that the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti apply to Raganuga Bhakti as well. So externally, Raganuga Bhakti looks just like Vaidhi Bhakti in the Sadhak deha. The whole thing is in the Siddha deha or in the Manasi form, which is the main aspect. Okay, any questions? All right. Fine. So let's go to the next topic. Whole new topic we are going to enter now. And this is the last topic for last major topic. There are a lot of verses, 297 to 309. So almost 13 verses we have to cover, but we will cover them quickly. But this is the last major topic and extremely, extremely important topic. Okay. So please wake up. I hope you're already woken up because even the previous discussion was very important. This discussion is equally important. So, what are the two categories of Raganuga Bhakti?
Kamanuga Bhakti and Sambandhanuga Bhakti.
Very nice. Kamanuga Bhakti and Sambandhanuga Bhakti. So now we are going to do a deep dive into Kamanuga Bhakti. So who is a Kamanuga Bhakta? Huh? What did you say? Copies. Okay. Gopis. Yeah, I thought you. So who has a longing or a desire to be like a Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakta. And who are the Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhaktas? Mainly, or they are the gopis. Mainly, I will now tell you, all of you may know, but there is another huge category of devotees who are not gopis, who are Kamanuga Bhaktas. Okay, big category. So let's go and understand that. So Kamanuga Bhakti is that longing, again, it's the longing to serve. There is again service. Okay, like we discussed, Srimati Radharani, everything that a Kamanuga Bhakta does is to serve. There is no service is always is the thing. It's different from Dasya Bhav. Dasya Bhav is doing service as a Dasya, but one is doing service as a parent. All the parents can say that they serve their child. Okay, so it's all service. As a lover, we cannot say, because in the material world, the love is, like we discussed, for make me happy. But this is the highest, this is the spiritual love where everything is to make. What was the word? Anybody remembers? Making Krishna happy? Krishna Saukyartham. Don't forget that. Everything, this was in the definition of Kamanuga Bhakti or Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti rather. That their goal is Krishna Saukyartham. That everything they do is for Krishna's happiness. Krishna's happiness is the only goal. Even if they are alive in the Padyavali, which Sri Rupa Goswami has written, after Sri Krishna left and the gopis knew, this is another beautiful point. The gopis knew he's not going to come back. Of course, he came back and met them after 70 years, but they knew he's not coming back. Why did they not give up their life? Why did they not commit suicide? Ah, very nice. Because they know Krishna will not like it. It is so much easier to commit suicide. So many people commit suicide when, they have various relationship problems. Isn't it? Genuinely, not just to show to the world I was right. Some are so sad that they will just commit suicide out of relationship problems. Because it's easy to end that suffering. I knew when long back, one couple had an only child and he passed away. The couple committed suicide. Because it's not who they were just so, it was just unbearable loss, unbearable pain. The best way to end the pain is to end the life. It's a good way to, finish the pain. And imagine the gopis were so much in love of Sri Krishna, they could have easily gotten rid of their suffering. The only thing that kept them alive was that will not make Krishna happy. So we will undergo these decades of suffering to make him happy. That's another level whole new level of Krishna Saukhyartham. How much, it's not just little bit priority. Krishna's happiness first priority, my happiness second priority. There is no second priority. That's what I'm trying to say. There's only one priority. Second priority doesn't exist. So that is the height of the gopis' love for Sri Krishna. Okay. So the mood of the Kamanuga, so they are Ragatmika. Now this is Raganuga, or they are the Kama Rupa Ragatmika. So our job is to serve Sri Krishna, following in the footsteps, externally at least, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Not only externally, even they were also doing Manasi sewa. So we are also following in their footsteps when we are doing internal sewa also. Both external and internal, we are following them. They are our guides. Not by neglecting any of the limbs of that they have guided us. Okay. So this is Kamanuga Bhakti. Clear? Now there are two categories of Kamanuga Bhakti. I did not have a way to build it or go bullet by bullet in a table. So I just display everything. But please listen to me and we'll go through each line. So there are two divisions of Kamanuga Bhakti. One is Sambhoga Ichhamayi and the other is Tad Bhava Ichhatmika Mayi. Sambhoga Ichhamayi. So you all understand Sambhoga? Union. So Sambhoga Ichha. Ichha means desire. Mayi means having that desire. Okay. So desire of the mood, the desire is to develop the mood of Sambhoga. What is the meaning of Sambhoga? To be with, in proximity of Krishna directly, or enjoy union with Krishna directly. That is Sambhoga Ichhamayi. Okay, like, the gopis, Ashtasakhis, for example, or even Chandravali. She's not one of the Ashtasakhis, but they're beyond the Ashtasakhis. There are so many Sakhis of Sri Krishna. So they are the ones like Sambhoga Ichhamayi. Then there is another group, or not group, category, which is Tad Bhava. Tad means who? Tad is referring to the previous category. Their Bhava Ichhamayi. All I want, the meaning here is, or one would think like, I just want their Bhava. I just want to experience the sweet Bhava similar to the gopis. So the focus is on experiencing the mood, but without the desire to be with Krishna or to have or enjoy union with Krishna. Okay? That is not there at all. It is actually absent. Not that it will develop in the future. It just is not there, period. Rather, the mood is to serve the gopis, to assist them to be with or enjoy union with Krishna. So this is servant of the servant, you can say. Serve somebody who serves Krishna. So the desire is to, but still it is Madhurya Bhava. It is still Madhurya, it's not Dasya. Dasya is different. So this is still Madhurya because you're still experiencing or desire is to taste the Madhurya, the sweetness of the gopis' love for Krishna. And it is possible. Okay, that big group of devotees who are in this category are the Manjaris. And this Bhava is known as Manjari Bhava. Okay. The bhava is to experience the sweetness between the gopis and Krishna by simply assisting the gopis. When the gopis are happy, the manjaris are happy. When the gopis are, the feelings within the gopis' minds are directly like the same feelings in the manjaris. When the gopis are angry, the manjaris also angry. Oh, Krishna did this, how come? If he is coming back and knocking on the door, the manjaris will not open the door. What does he think? He's a big, whatever, Hari Parshad Prabhu, so many nice he tells how all these wonderful stories, pastimes, right? So they have the same feelings, they have the same mood. Dasya will do everything that Krishna wants. There is no anger or man in Dasya. Okay, that's out of scope. But here the manjaris can be angry, but only because they are experiencing the anger. They are not directly angry with Krishna. They are angry with Krishna because the gopi is angry. They are just what you call an extension of their mood. And so basically the focus of the gopis of the manjaris is completely aligned with the mood of the gopi, not with Krishna. They just go along wherever, but the gopis, for them, Krishna is everything. He is their only priority. Not the first priority, but the only. So obviously the manjaris also have the same mood. That is why in Gaudiya Vaishnavism we say, you might have heard, we want to be we love Krishna because Srimati Radharani loves Krishna, not for any other reason. Have you heard that? That is coming from here. So the manjaris, that is known as manjari bhav. And the goal is not to look out for Krishna's happiness. That is by one level of derivation, like, in engineering, you say derivation. By extension, the first priority of the manjari is to look out for the happiness of Sri Radha or the gopi. So Sri Radha's manjaris, their first priority is what will make Sri Radha happy. To look out for her interests. And that is the core essence of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That is the essence. To look out for the interest of Srimati Radha. Krishna is just is a byproduct or on the side. The manjaris would give up Krishna in a second. Their allegiance is only and only to Sri Radha. Okay. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes very clearly that between these two, Sambhog Ichhamayi and Tad Bhava Ichhatmika Mayi, this one is the chief type of Kamanuga Bhakti. Basically, Kamanuga Bhakti is this, not that one. One should not aspire to become a gopi. From a Kamanuga standpoint, one should aspire to become a manjari or a servant of the gopis, not a gopi. And it is superior, it is the main one, and it's the better one. He's directly writing this. Okay. So for Kamanuga Bhaktas, their mood, they can align their mood to serve Sri Radha. Okay. Questions? Okay, some chat questions are there. Let's see. What if one doesn't have a Ragatmika Guru? Ragatmika Guru, I'm getting confused. Now, Ragatmika role model, you mean? You need to have two. You need to have Ragatmika role model, like the Ragatmika Bhakta, and then a Guru, a Bhajan Guru for your to guide you on that path. So which one you're talking about, I don't know. Ragatmika Guru, you're putting two things together. Okay. So the Ragatmika Bhakta is your role model whose bhava you have a lobha to develop. And then a Guru who has similar mood helps to guide you on that path. Because there is no mechanical way. It's very, very, personal. You cannot say do 16 rounds and then you will become, like a manjari. That's not how it works. Vaidhi Bhakti, it works like that. So I don't know, because Krishna promised he will come back. When he was leaving, they lay down on the road to be trampled. They wanted to die. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's the point being made. Who are the acharyas for the Sambhog Ichhamai, since only one sentence is given? Who are the acharyas? Okay, I don't know the answer to that question, that who are the acharyas. For example, Sri Rupa Goswami is all the acharyas. Sri Jiva Goswami is Sri Vilasa Manjari. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is Sri Rati Manjari. Sri Sanatana Goswami is, I forget. So they are all Manjaris. So I don't know who would be the acharyas. Maybe there are in different sampradaya, or maybe in Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya. That's a great question for Hari Parshad Prabhu. He is the expert. Are those who are trying to arrange everything for Krishna's happiness to support his pranks? Yeah, that sounds like help him to meet Radha. Oh, now you mixed. Support his pranks would definitely be Sakhya. There was this whole tax collection pastime when they were going to trouble the gopis. All the Sakhas got together and, did that. Now to help meet Radha, help him meet Radha. Meet means like, or maybe direct is what you're asking, like direct him towards, or direct Srimati Radharani's towards him so that he can, play pranks on her. If that is the thing, then it is Sakhya. But just helping the meeting sounds more like Manjaris. I don't know which one you're asking. Okay. All right. So those were the questions on the chat. Okay, let's keep moving. So now we are on the sort of the downhill. So the most important aspects we have covered. So let's quickly see what's next. Okay. So who is the adhikari of Kamanuga Bhakti? So first of all, whoever is the adhikari of Raganuga, that's the baseline. Who was the adhikari of Raganuga? One who has so the question being asked, the topic is who is eligible or adhikari of Kamanuga Bhakti. Obviously, the adhikari of Raganuga has to apply because that's the broader category. So that is one who has developed the lobha for a mood or a bhava similar not just to a Vrajvasi but to a gopi or a manjari, primarily a manjari, one or the maid servant of the gopis. So that is the specific or the further narrowing of the categorization. And how does that develop? Okay, one who has developed that lobha. Now here is some, very important aspects of how one gets that adhikar or that eligibility. By seeing and relishing. So there are 2 points being made, and basically there is 1 point being made. And again, it sounds like a repetition, but even Sri Rupa Goswami is repeating. It is so important. So by seeing and relishing the sweetness of the deities of Sri Radha and Krishna, one could develop that lobha. Okay? One could develop that lobha. Wow, they are so sweet. But what is happening for those of you who might have some experience of it, when you are looking at the deities, you're not just looking at, oh, what beautiful marble, gold, and this, and I wish I had such a nice earring on my ears. Not like that. But when you're looking at the smile, you're looking at how nice, beautifully she is looking at Krishna, or Krishna is looking at her. Or maybe you think, what is going on in her mind right now? How will she please Krishna? Or what plans Krishna is making right now to, play tricks on her? Or, so the point is that looking at the deities, one is, and the second point, so that is one, looking at seeing the deities, and the second is hearing the sweet pastimes of Sri Krishna and Radha and the other, with Sri Radha and the other gopis. So looking at the deities, hearing the pastimes, and in this way, relishing the moods and interactions of the divine couple. And then this Kamanuga, this lobha begins to, or could begin to arise. Or if you go to the Manjaris, how they are assisting in there with a capital T, their pastimes, what the Manjaris are doing. And through that, how they are themselves experiencing the Madhurya Bhav. Through the interactions of Sri Radha and Krishna, how the Manjaris are experiencing Madhurya. But all of this can, when you are looking at the deity, for example, how will you be able to think of these things? What enables one to think of them? Having the knowledge. Exactly. How you get the knowledge? Through hearing. So hearing the pastimes assists in relishing the seeing of the deities. If you have not heard anything in Srimad Bhagavatam, if you have never sat in a Bhagavatam class, and now you see the most beautiful deities, all you will see is gold and marble. So hearing is essential. That is the point being made. Okay. Another point that is made is that now we are talking about Kamanuga Bhakti. So Kamanuga specifically is about a female. Manjaris are females. Gopis are females. There are no male gopis, no male Manjaris. Sakhyas can be male. Vatsalya can be male or female. Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. Dasyas mostly male. Sakhyas mostly male. So for Kamanuga, the question can be, I am a male. Can I be in Kamanuga mood, or can I aspire, or what about that? So this eligibility of Kamanuga Bhakti is not restricted to females, female as in their material body, the sadhak body. Being female, it's not restricted to that. Even a male, as a materially a male person, like myself, Srila Prabhupada, or all of half of you are probably males on the call, on the meeting, on the class today. So it's not restricted to only females, because if there is a desire to serve Srimati Radharani so that she can make Krishna happy. So if you have that desire, that lobha, how can I serve Srimati Radharani? Then that's Kamanuga. So even men can have such a desired mood. And then there is a evidence from given here from the Shastras, the sages of the Dandakaranya forest, when they saw the beautiful form of Lord Ram, they said, we want to have a conjugal relationship, amorous relationship with you. Then Lord Ram said that, not in this life or not in this birth. And so basically those sages were Kamanuga Bhaktas. And in this case, they were Sambhoga Ichhamayi ones, because they wanted to have direct, but they were very advanced sages. So one cannot say that, oh, they were second grade, because we said the Tad Bhava Ichhatmika Mayi is superior. So please don't think like that. What it is means, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing that for us, that is superior. It doesn't mean that that one is superior. Gopis are definitely superior. But to aspire from an aspiration perspective, the second one is superior. Please make that distinction. Okay? So we should not aspire to have direct relationship with Krishna. We should assist the gopis who have a direct sambhoga with Krishna. But Dandakaranya sages are different. Okay? So they took birth as women in Gokul in their next lives. They became the gopis. Okay? All right. Now, there could be Vaidhi Bhaktas in Madhurya Bhava. Okay? Like all the maybe worshippers of Mother Lakshmi, for example. Now again, that may not be Gaudiya Vaishnava. They may be in Sri Sampradaya or something. But I'm just saying it is possible to have this conjugal mood, but as a Vaidhi Bhakta. So the question that is being asked, so in the next two verses, the question that is being answered is, what happens to the Vaidhi Bhaktas who worship Lord Krishna in awe and reverence, but they desire to have a conjugal relationship with Sri Krishna? They want to serve Krishna through a conjugal relationship. And typically here we are talking about Dwarka Krishna. Okay? So the answer is, again, most of this is theoretical, because first of all, this is all beyond my, level completely. It's way above my pay grade. But I'm sharing from what I have understood by my reading and understanding. So they develop a mood similar to the Queens of Dwarka. And they can reach there by their Vaidhi Bhakti. So the whole topic is Vaidhi Bhaktas. So they are continuing to perform Vaidhi Bhakti, not Raganuga Bhakti as per Rupa Goswami's definition. Because Rupa Goswami's definition is very narrow. It is limited to Vrajvasis. And there is no Aishwarya Krishna in Vraja. He doesn't exist. There is no such Aishwarya Krishna. In Vraja, he is the most, what do you say? All the lowest kind of person. He lies, he cheats, he has all the bad, so to say, all the qualities that you wouldn't want to have. Okay? So he's not the Aishwarya Krishna. So those who are developing or who are worshipping Sri Krishna in the mood of as Vaidhi Bhaktas with Madhurya Bhava, they become, and so basically by perfecting Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and going through Bhava Bhakti, moving on to and attaining the Krishna Prema, even they can attain Krishna Prema. Okay. They attain a spiritual form as a queen of Sri Krishna in Dwarka in their future life. Or, as I will say later in one of the bullets, that or a maidservant of the queen. Just like the Manjari Bhav, there is also maidservants of the queens. But again, they also experience the Madhurya. May not be with, again, but that is not dealt very in detail, because this is not, Sri Rupa Goswami is writing about Raganuga Bhakti with that definition. All this falls outside, so it will fall under some other Sampradaya, not the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. But it's legitimate. Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is not the only way to attain Krishna. Okay. There are so many Sampradayas, valid, genuine, and bona fide Sampradayas. Okay. But this discussion is our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. But Sri Jiva Goswami writes that this Vaidhi Bhakti process takes longer than Raganuga Bhakti process. And also men can also have, in this case also have such a desired goal, no problem. Okay. And also have the goal of becoming a queen or a maid servant of a queen. So all that is there. Okay. So now here is another important point. Now this one is important for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So what happens to the Vaidhi Bhaktas who worship Sri Radha Krishna? Now previous one was those who were worshipping Dwarka Krishna. Right? Now, how many of you consider yourself Vaidhi Bhaktas? So I'll raise my hand. So almost everybody, right? Who are you worshipping, Dwarka Krishna or Vraj Krishna? Huh? Vraj Krishna, isn't it? Now we have a, problem. So we are not doing Raganuga Bhakti yet. Okay, maybe later. So what happens? But when you're looking at that Krishna, Mother Yashoda and those people don't know he is God, but you know he is God. You know only God can lift Govardhan hill. Only God can kill Kamsa. Right? So we all know it's front and center in our minds that he is God. It's very hard to forget that he is God or diminish that godliness. So we are worshipping Sri Radha Krishna of Vrindavan, but with a mood of awe and reverence. Isn't it? Chanting 16 rounds and following all the rules and regulations and everything. That's Vaidhi Bhakti. तो हमारा क्या होगा? तेरा क्या होगा कालिया? So Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very nice answer. Very nice answer he gives. So the answer is they do not attain Dwarka Dham because they have been worshipping Vraj Krishna. So why will they attain Dwarka Dham? All their life they have been worshipping Vraj Krishna. But they cannot attain Sri Radha Krishna of Vrindavan either, because that we had covered in the beginning of Raganuga Bhakti section from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela chapter 3, that he can only be attained by Raganuga Bhakti. Because they have been worshipping Radha Krishna, Sri Radha Krishna of Vraja, but with Aishwarya Gyan, with a mood of awe and reverence. Say, Bhagwan, please save me. You are the Lord, my dear Radha and Krishna, please save me. So one is worshipping with mood of awe and reverence, but to Vraj Krishna. Kya hoga? What happens now? So which means that they did not follow the Raganuga Bhakti path for the informal, human and fallible Krishna. Isn't it? For them, Krishna is not far. Is Krishna fallible for you, Prabhuji? Huh? For us, he is the Krishna who spoke Bhagavad Gita, not the Krishna who stole butter. Every Sunday there is Bhagavad Gita class in temple. Right? Yet we worship Radha Krishna. So they did not do that. So neither ke na udhar ke, neither here nor there. So Krishna is very kind. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says they attain Sri Radha Krishna in a special portion of Vrindavan called Goloka Dham. So in Vrindavan, a portion has been reserved for such people. And this is called Goloka Vrindavan. So when you say, no, they attained Goloka Vrindavan. So that is Goloka Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan, this is equivalent to like a Vaikuntha within Vrindavan. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna's feet are big enough to accommodate everyone. Okay. In material world, we say, Dhobi ka kutta idhar ka na udhar ka. But that is not true for Krishna's devotees. Every devotee of Krishna, he has a very sweet, nice destination. So for such people, Goloka Vrindavan is the destination. But Goloka Vrindavan does not have that pure sweetness and informality because that was not your relationship with Krishna. So he doesn't manifest in that way because that was not how you cultivated your bhakti. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. So Krishna reciprocates in the way in which you are. So if that was not the way, then he will not present that way. He is present where in Golok Vrindavan, in this special portion, as the majestic Krishna. There is a mix of Aishwarya and Madhurya. Because you worshipped Radha Krishna, there is Madhurya. But you had Aishwarya Gyan, so there is Aishwarya. So this Golok Vrindavan in the spiritual world is a special place where there is a mixture of Aishwarya and Madhurya. And that is what these devotees attain. And Sri Rupa Goswami even gives a evidence from Mahakurma Puran. We will not go into that. But yeah, okay, we can go into it. But I think I had it there. Oh, got deleted. Okay. Something got deleted. Okay. Okay. So now, last topic of today is the Sambandhanuga. So Kamanuga discussion is done. So again, summary of Kamanuga basically is that for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our goal should be to develop the mood of the servant of Srimati Radharani. That's the basic point. And then as we mature in our bhakti, the more we understand of the mood of Srimati Radharani or the gopis, then we can try to assist in that. How can I assist? So our goal should be more advanced in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, means shifting the focus from Krishna to Sri Radha. She is the main deity, or the main object of our focus is her, and to serve her. And that directly leads to Manjari Bhava, maid servants of Sri Radha. So that is the point, Tad Bhava Ichhatmika Mayi. And then we discussed some other points like what happens to those who are pure Vaidhi Bhaktas but have Madhurya Bhav, they become queens or her maid servants in Dwarka. But what about the mixed ones? So we discussed that. Okay, Sambandhanuga Bhakti, very quickly, is that for those who have agreed to develop a mood that is in the mood of parent or friend or a servant. So like Nanda Maharaj, Subala or Rattak Patrak, etc. So again, Sambandhanuga we have already discussed before. So the focus is on the relationship that has a title from a material standpoint. Now, one thing that is mentioned is one should not aspire. Again, it is fine. I mean, it is possible, but the guidance is to not do that. For the aspirants to become a parent of Sri Krishna or a friend of Sri Krishna, it is more suitable to develop that kind of a mood. Again, the similar difference as between Sambhog Ichhamayi versus Tad Bhav Ichhatmikamayi. So to just develop the mood of becoming a parent or a friend. Okay. And then what happens? So an evidence is given in the Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ of a story of a carpenter in Hastinapur who wanted to have Krishna as his son. So he did not become, you cannot become Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is Nanda Maharaj. But he became a Gopa or a elderly Gopa in Vraja. And then for 1 year, he became father of Krishna during Brahma Vimohan Leela. You all know Brahma Vimohan Leela, I assume, where Krishna expanded himself as all the Gopas. So all the Vrajvasi elderly ones, automatically for 1 year, they got to become parents of Krishna. So that's how he attained through the Sambandhanuga Bhakti. And there is one more evidence and we will move forward. Okay. Last one, how to get the eligibility. This is our last slide for today. So how to get the eligibility of Raganuga Bhakti, of the whole Raganuga Bhakti. What is the eligibility? What's the first word that should come to the mind? Lobha. Lobha for the bhava, similar to a Vrajvasi. Okay. And those can be in one of the 4 major main categories: Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakhya, and Dasya. So how to get that eligibility? And there is only one way. Only I didn't quote the Sanskrit, but there's a focus on the word only one way, or rather 2 ways, but only this. The mercy of Sri Krishna. What is the other one? Mercy of one of the devotees of Krishna. Okay. So now this makes it look like it's random. But that's not the understanding. So the learning is not just, okay, if it happens. It's like, it's not like, you're throwing the seeds. Some seed happens to randomly fall on a fertile land and it will grow. Some seed falls on a rock and it will not grow. That is random. But this is not like that. Okay. So what can we do? Be greedy if you don't have the lobha for the bhava, at least you can have the greediness for obtaining the mercy of Vaishnavas. It is being told. So the purpose of this verse is not to show the randomness. The purpose of this verse is to show what we should do to somehow or the other get the mercy. So serve the Vaishnavas, hang out around them, beg for their mercy. That's how we will get the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Krishna's mercy, yes, it can come from anywhere. So now that is not much that is also can be in our control, which I will show. But devotees are more merciful than Krishna, isn't it? So just somehow cry, beg for the mercy, or cry to Sri Krishna Some of you may say, I don't have any Vaishnavas around me. I cannot go anywhere. Then cry to Sri Krishna. Somehow cry. Just like a child cries and then the mother gives milk. So once you cry enough, then, and there is no other way. There is no other way.
It's like Narad Muni in his previous life.
Yes. He got one moment of darshan and he cried so much, and then at least he heard the voice that you will not get any more. So that was some consolation. But we may not, even if we don't hear the voice, we are so fortunate we have Srimad Bhagavatam, 12 cantos. So you cannot say you didn't have the voice. You have 12 full cantos of voice. 18,000 verses worth of voice we have. If that is not enough, then what else is? Then even if Sri Krishna come and says it himself, it will have no effect. Like Duryodhan then. That's Duryodhan mentality. Krishna himself went and told, you guys will be finished if you don't agree to peace with Pandavas. He didn't agree. God went to him and told, you will be finished if you don't do this. That's what we are saying. If God comes and says, do bhakti, I will do bhakti. Well, in Duryodhan's case, it was not true. So how can we be so sure that it will work in our case? We think that it will work. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam is there. Taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam is the #1 duty, and obtaining the mercy of Vaishnavas. That is the end of the class. One last point. Another name for Raganuga Bhakti is also called as Pushti Marg. What was the other alternate name of Vaidhi Bhakti given? Anybody remembers? Maryada Marg. So this is just one line. I'm just doing full coverage of the content of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ. All right, so that ends our Sadhan Bhakti chapter. This is the longest chapter in full Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ. Entire Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ, this is the longest chapter, 309 verses. Okay, almost half as big as Bhagavad Gita. So we have completed that. So next time when we meet, next week, we will not have class. Many devotees are going to Sadhu Sangha and Gita Nagari and other places. So we will meet in 2 weeks. Is that true? Okay. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the announcements. Any other announcements before we take questions? No? So no class next week. We'll meet in 2 weeks and we will start Bhava Bhakti section. So very close, we are getting to finishing the Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhuḥ. Okay, let's see what more questions. What is the mood of the Queens of Dwarka? So the mood is Madhurya. Madhurya with God. They are fully aware he is God. So there is full Aishwarya Gyan. Okay. Is Gopa Kumar in Ragatmika Vrindavan? Yes, that's my understanding. He is a Ragatmika Bhakta. Ultimately, he graduated up through the help of his guru. Most devotees treat Krishna as Supreme Person, Super Soul, God. Is the association of such devotees good for finding a human Krishna, or can it be a source of distress? So in the Sadhak deha, even Sri Rupa Goswami, would you call the association of Rupa Goswami beneficial or distress? I would think you would say it is beneficial. And do you think Rupa Goswami knows that Krishna is God, or he has forgotten that he is God? He knows. So the point is, in Sadhak deha, the Guru will always be aware. That awareness is there, but one has to develop the pradhanata of the, without the Aishwarya Gyan. Aishwarya Gyan, pradhanata should go away. the mood, and that happens by diving deeper and deeper. These questions come because so far we have been reading so much about the Aishwarya Jnana Pradhanata, how Krishna has come and done all these wonderful things like Vaman Avatar, Narsingh Avatar. They are full of, I mean, major part of it is, it's just showing the greatness, how, he expanded and, just covered the whole universe in 2 steps. Or Narsingh Dev, Ito Narsingho, Tato, Yato, Yamitato, Narsingho, everywhere he is there. He's like the all-pervading Narsingha Dev. He's there in the pillar, he's there here, he's there everywhere. So there is that Aishwarya Jnana Pradhanata is there. So all that is there so much. So we need to go into the Leela Shastra of Sri Krishna, of Vraj Krishna. That was my big sort of realization some time back. We need to go into that to develop that understanding of who is Vraj Krishna. Otherwise, so many years we have been Aishwarya Gyan, that's all that comes to our mind. And then we will ask questions like, oh, what if I cannot get rid of that? Nobody is saying you need to get rid of it. It needs to become consciously, one needs to start appreciating the humanness of Krishna. And you need to understand what he wants. He desperately wants, this is the whole discussion we had a couple of weeks back, the desperation of God to be recognized as a fallible human. I cannot still understand why it is more suitable to develop the mood of a friend rather than want to be a friend directly. We usually aspire for a specific role rather than the mood of the role. Seems indirect or something is missing. Yeah, so I cannot answer that. It's a deeper question. Better to be asked to a much more senior devotee. Okay. Even Sri Rupa Goswami does not elaborate on that much. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Okay, thank you for enduring such a long discussion. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mata.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.